Everyone keeps asking me, what are you going to be able to do with it? Well, no one really knows because no one's flown an aeroplane like this before.
This is a story about one man, his biplane and its 3 engines, 2 of which are jet engines. I headed up last week to Gloucester Airport to get in Rich Goodwin's way as he prepared to taxi test his jet pits under the power of 2 jet engines for the very first time. Stick around to see how that goes. Spoiler alert, it went very well.
Slightly unconventional way of filling it up. It doesn't have to be filled up like this. We will have several fuel tanks in the aircraft. So we've got a header tank for each jet engine supplied by a main fuel tank, and that carries jet A1. The other fuel tank for the piston engine. The piston engine will always be running, and the jet engine will be supplementary power, and that will give the aircraft more thrust than weight. It should enable the aeroplane to stop in the vertical and then accelerate upwards.
What's the backstory, Rich? What got you into aviation, and where did that lead you prior to pit stage?
I guess I've got to blame it on my dad, who's unfortunately no longer with us, Air Force Lightning pilot, and sitting on the crash gates at Watersham watching lightning scramble, it just sort of became part of me and my blood. Building model aeroplanes with my father from a young age, 8, 9 years old, and then things progressed, PPL, University Air Squadron, Royal Air Force, Tornado GR1, 8-year short service commission, and then unemployment, working in the tower at Old Sarum to make ends meet, and then eventually got a job with in the airline industry, Charter Airlines, Air 2000, First Choice, TUI, and now I've retired, which is great. So I can really focus on my passion in life, which is, as you well know, the aerobatic biplane.
You'll notice how the jet engines are angled out a bit. That's because when we first ran them, we had the efflux was impinging too much on the tailplane, so it was causing some heat damage. The air velocity coming out of the jet turbine is about Mach 0.85, so you can imagine that hitting a fabric aeroplane. They don't mix. But the way we've got them set up now is that it doesn't go anywhere near the tailplane. I think once we fly it, we'll be able to angle them in a bit.
I've met some incredible people that have helped me on the way, both at Gloucester Airport, building, welding, design engineer in America. I'm particularly indebted to Eddie Salmon, who designed the Jet Wacko. He also designed the Yak 110, and he's now helped design and get approval for the jet pits, which we're still working on. I must also include John Whiten of Acroflight, who's helped design the containment nacelles to allow for what's called rotor burst. Because you've got spools turning at high RPM, there's obviously a lot of energy in those spools, and if suddenly they fell apart, they could do a lot of damage if the discs come out of the casing, and the casing's not designed to take that sort of impact. So John Whiten from Acroflight came up with a design solution, which is basically we put a bulletproof vest around the whole engine. So this is effectively what it looks like. I built this. It's got layers of Kevlar, which are laid up dry around the front and the rear turbine. And we've calculated the thickness, or he's calculated using finite element analysis modelling techniques. All of that stuff has gone into a report which has been submitted to the Civil Aviation Authority and the Light Aviation Authority. And from there, we're waiting to hear whether we can go and fly it. So we decided to do this about 4 years ago and basically tackle the problems as they've come along. I'm hoping that we're nearing the end game. We've got a bit more paperwork to do, and as they say, the weight of the paperwork equals the weight of the airplane. They'll give us the go-ahead and we can go fly it. When I first started the jet turbine, we had welding blankets all over the aeroplane, and we're measuring temperatures around the canopy, the sides of the fuselage, because it is a bit overwhelming when you see all those flames come out quite close to you, but it's just the start process. It's all contained and controlled. And really, when you think about it, a jet engine is a fire inside a tin can. Inevitably, there's bits of fuel dropping out as you start it up, so it's best to have the engine running to keep any potential drips of fuel that might come out during the start process, and any flames that are sort of non-directional, pointing in the right direction. So we start the prop first. Today was the first time we started both engines. I'm pleased to say that it went really well. It's quite a big milestone we've got to today, and just winding them up down the runway, I just can't wait to fly it. I think it's going to be a great machine.
And up and down the runway using just the turbine power?
Yeah, because we've only got limited braking facility and no parachute on the pits, then you got to be a bit cautious about the brakes. Again, I've learned the hard way on that one as well. If you use them too much, they get quite hot. So just full power on the jet engines. Just keep it straight, and I don't want to push it really. I think we want to get the aeroplane in the air and start test flying it with the jets running in the air. It wasn't designed to be on the ground, that aeroplane. There's nothing that can't be proved on paper, and so in theory, once that's proved on paper, they should let us fly it. Because it's the first jet turbine that will go onto the LA register, understandably everyone's quite cautious, and they want to make sure they've got the paperwork correct, but it has to be then approved by the CAA, because they want to see that due diligence has been done on the process of getting the first jet turbine aeroplane flying, albeit it is like a standby power system. We don't actually have to have the jets running in order to fly the aeroplane, but it may well pave the way for someone to put a jet on the subsonics aircraft, and we'll start building our own little jet fighters, hopefully. The whole point is also to inspire people into aviation, science, technology, mathematics, and people see it and go, wow, that's quite cool. How do they do that? Maybe it'll get our younger generation thinking about the technologies of the future. Of course, none of this would be possible without the support of Anana company, technology company, and artificial intelligence company. And it's a private company. Chris and Roger and all their team have supported me tremendously over the last 4.5 years. And without their input and their help and their support, none of this would be possible. It takes someone like myself to sort of, bolt it all together and draw people in to get the things done that we need to get done. But they've been incredibly supportive. You'll probably notice some different branding on the aeroplane now. Nana has now been acquired by another bigger company, again a fantastic technology company called Sabio. I'm pretty sure that they're going to want to hold on to what we're doing, and will continue to support the projects. Today has been quite exciting, and I'm glad you came up to see it all happening. And now really some minor adjustments to the load analysis on the airframe to include the gyroscopic loads of the jet turbines. And once that's dotted and the T's are crossed, I'm hoping that we'll get permission to test fly it. Really trying hard anyway. I'm working occasionally long hours, and now I'm retired, I've got that time, and I really want to see this through to the end.
And me too, Rich. I very much hope to see the jet pits on the airshow circuit sometime soon. And if you'd like to follow the progress of Rich and the aircraft, do follow him on Facebook at Rich Goodwin Airshows, and subscribe to Planes TV here on YouTube, like the Facebook page. I do hope to cover the project as Rich progresses things, so yeah, keep posted. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen here, do like the video, and if you really want to encourage me to get out and about and cover more stories like this, you can become a channel member on YouTube. Very best way of supporting Planes TV, and also watching back some of Rich's amazing airshow action, amongst very many other airshow acts over the 30 years of Planes TV's archive of airshow action, is to head over to watch.planestv.com. That's our on-demand service with a back catalogue of hundreds of hours of airshow action, and that supports what I do here, the free content that we output on YouTube, but also gives you access to that fantastic archive of aviation action. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you at an airshow soon. Cheerio.